In many parts of the world, when the sun sets, education stops. Students who could excel in school, who could become doctors, engineers, or teachers, instead fall behind simply because they lack light to study by after dark. For most of us, this would be a may but distant problem. For 15-year-old Ann Makosinski from Victoria, Canada, it became a personal mission that would lead to one of the most elegant inventions of our time. Ann's story begins with friendship. Her best friend lived in the Philippines, where access to reliable electricity was limited, and studying after sunset was nearly impossible. Through letters and conversations, Ann learned how this basic lack of light was limiting her friend's educational opportunities and future prospects. This personal connection transformed a global problem into something Ann felt compelled to solve. Growing up in a family that valued both education and practical problem solving, Ann had been encouraged to tinker, experiment, and think creatively from an early age. Her parents, both educators, fostered an environment where curiosity was celebrated and failure was seen as a stepping stone to success. They taught her that with privilege comes responsibility, and that her comfortable life in Canada meant she had an obligation to help others who faced greater challenges. Ann's breakthrough came when she learned about thermoelectrics, the science of converting temperature differences directly into electrical energy. She realized that the human body constantly generates heat and wondered if she could harness this energy to power a flashlight. The concept was simple but profound. What if the very warmth of a student's hand could provide the power needed to study? But turning this idea into reality required months of dedicated work. Anne spent countless hours researching thermoelectric materials, learning about electrical circuits, and designing prototypes. Her first attempts failed repeatedly. The voltage was too low, the light too dim, the design too bulky. Each failure could have been a reason to quit, but Anne understood a fundamental principle. Meaningful innovation requires persistence through temporary setbacks. Working in her family's basement, surrounded by wires, LED lights, and thermoelectric tiles, Anne gradually refined her design. She learned to solder circuits, calculate electrical resistance, and optimize energy conversion. Her parents supported her not by doing the technical work, but by helping her access materials, encouraging her through frustrations, and celebrating small victories along the way. The final design of Anne's hollow flashlight was elegantly simple: a hollow aluminum tube that users could grip, with thermoelectric tiles that converted the temperature difference between the warm hand and cooler air into electricity. The flashlight produces steady light for as long as someone holds it, with no batteries, no moving parts, and no environmental waste. Anne's invention earned her first place at the Google Science Fair, but more importantly, it demonstrated that individual creativity and determination can address real human needs. The hollow flashlight costs virtually nothing to operate, works in any climate, and provides reliable light for studying, reading, or working after dark. But Anne didn't stop with one invention. Understanding that energy poverty affects billions of people worldwide, she continued developing human-powered technologies. Her subsequent inventions include the hollow headlamp and other devices that harvest energy from body heat. Each innovation reflects her core belief that technology should serve humanity's most basic needs. What makes Anne's story particularly inspiring is her understanding that innovation carries moral responsibility. She has consistently focused on creating technologies that help people in developing regions rather than pursuing inventions that might be more commercially lucrative but less socially meaningful. This reflects a mature understanding that our talents are gifts to be used in service of others. Anne's achievements teach us several crucial lessons. First, that the most powerful innovations often address the simplest human needs. In this case, the basic requirement for light. Second, that global problems can be solved by individuals who refuse to accept injustice as inevitable. Third, that the best inventions are often those that work with natural systems rather than against them. Perhaps most importantly, Ann Makosinski demonstrates that true innovation combines technical skill with moral vision. Her flashlight works because it's based on solid scientific principles, but it matters because it expands educational opportunity for students who might otherwise be trapped by circumstances beyond their control. Today, Anne continues developing energy harvesting technologies while pursuing her education. understanding that lasting impact requires both innovation and deep knowledge. Her story reminds us that in a world of rapid technological change, the innovations that matter most are those that ensure everyone can participate in the opportunities that education and development provide. Anne once said that she hopes her inventions will help students around the world to achieve their dreams. In pursuing this goal with creativity, persistence, and unwavering moral purpose, she shows us that the brightest light comes not from advanced technology, but from the human spirit determined to lift others toward their potential.